be a better option. It is like the Tuggada Lakshana, or otherwise what we say Pittam Tujistidam Gurya Vispodaga Masuriga. And almost all the conditions are simply as either Toggada Pitta or Toggada Vada. So Chadadavada Gradam with Yasada Basmam would be a better option in this condition. Next case, female age 60 years, complaints of severe itching all over body since 1 year with a small hyperpigmented nodule over all over body. Sorry, hyperpigmented nodules all over body. Nodules in the sense it's very simple, prickly like nodules only. I will show you the picture. Pigmented hard nodules all over the body, more on trunk and lower leg. Patient become highly lethargic with gaining of weight since 1 year. It's actually it's a nodule, but we feel as dry skin only. What could be this condition? This also is a reason for the hypothyroidism is one reason for this. This condition I have explained in the initial 2 or 3 slides. You might have aware of that. Cutaneous lichen amyloidosis. Amyloids are protein deposits. Such amyloids are being deposited in between in the layers of the skin. Might have been deposited in the hair, the roots of hair follicle. If these amyloids are being deposited over the what we say in the skin, it is known as cutaneous amyloidosis. If it is been, it can this deposit can happen over the thyroid also. Then it is known as thyroid. What we say autoimmune thyroid amyloidosis. If it happens to the liver, it is known as hepatic amyloidosis. So these amyloids are the typical features of it. This can be another cutaneous manifestation of hypothyroidism. Lichen amyloidosis developed from hypothyroidism. The pathology is I explained the pathology already, and here also we need again lekhana and chedana with the snehana because these lesions are typically dry. Initially, simple lekhana and chedana alone may not be sufficient because these deposits, these lichen or amyloids are what we say it's very hard to touch, and initially we need to soften that by applying or internally as well as externally sneha therapy. Later, it can be done the lekhana therapy. The treatment should be started with snehana and ended with the lekhana. So again, Varanadikwadam, Swayambhakti Sinduram, along with the Nimbamrita Dhyaranda. This is the combination I explained. Chedana and lekhana with the snigdha medium. Eranda Daila is nothing, it can be given in Amavastha also. So this is the line which I follow in such cases. That is Swayambhakti Chedana Lekhana medicine. It can be either Swayambhakti Sinduram or it can be Kasisa Basmam. But the better Anupana is any of the Eranda Daila. It can be either Nimbamrita Dhyarandam or it can be Eranda Sukumaram or it can be Gandharvastha Dhyarandam. Externally, the better option is Aditibhaga Thailam, that which contains what we say Haridala, Manasila, and Gandhaka. It is very effective in such conditions because it is lekhana, chedana as well as snigdha. Another case, a female age 30 years. Hypopigmentation on dorsal surface of index fingers in 6 months. Lesions were neither itching nor pain. There is no other symptom, only some of the what we say vitiligo-like presentation over palms and fingers. It's not much spreading also. It's very slow in spreading. Like this. Definitely, it's there is no confusion with that. It is vitiligo only. Once a vitiligo patient came to your clinic, you are supposed to check for thyroid because there is a simple what we say a dangerous pitfall in case of vitiligo and hypothyroid. The thyroid TSH was 82.6. If you come to see or if you come to happen to see a patient with vitiligo and hypothyroidism, the next step you have to do is you have to check for an ECG because vitiligo, hypothyroidism, cardiomyopathy, dilated cardiomyopathy. These 3 are triads. if you happens to see, there is every possible, if you happen to see a combination of vitiligo and hypothyroidism, there is every possibility of cardiomyopathy also. So you have to rule out the possibility of cardiomyopathy in this case. And if it is not there, that is well and good. You can start the treatment. Or if cardiomyopathy is associated, you need to either, if you are able to address that, better. But I usually in such cases I refer the patient for cardiac treatments to a cardiologist, and the other group of treatment will be dealing by me. So in these cases, so always be careful. In case of vitiligo with hypothyroidism, you should examine ECG definitely. The next one is good hormone control. The method is good hormone control, and PUVA is actually in these cases. What in the PUVA? The PUVA is the method followed in modern medicine to treat vitiligo. That is psoralen internally and UV rays externally. UVA rays externally. That is called as PUVA therapy. So they give psoralen internally, and at the same time they examine the ultraviolet A the rays by externally. So thereby they control the lesion. Here in this case, we also do the same, but not in the what we say molecule of psoralen. At the same time, we use what we say the Baguji churna. It is rich of psoralen, and also we ask by applying this what we say Avalguja Bijadi churna or this what the Baguji churna, and we also ask to expose to sunlight. So these are the therapies which we follow. But in this case, such a therapy may not be needed because this vitiligo is not an independent disease. This vitiligo it's a temporary condition produced due to hypothyroid. And so once the hypothyroid level, the thyroid level comes to the normalcy, this vitiligo also comes to normal. Here also in this case, I followed this Soymakti Sindhuram 200 milligram with honey. Initially, Samsana with Padola Muladi Kashayam, then shifted to Guruchadi Kashayam, and finally, and there is one Markava Rasayanam, which is explained in the context of Shitra. Markava Rasayanam, it's a special Avaleha preparation by the Swarasa of Prangaraja. Swarasa and Kalka of Prangaraja is being used. Markava Rasayanam along with Annapedi Sindhuram, and local application Baguji Bija Churna with the Shodhida Dairi. TSH came to normal 3.46, and later conditions also were coming down. Almost we are in the last case. Another case, 26, female 26 years, hair fall, irregular periods with dysmenorrhea since 3 months, reduced appetite, and she had a thyroidectomy 6 months back because of colloid goiter. Such a patient, see that she has been undergone thyroidectomy, and this was her prescription. You just imagine, she was prescribed Thyronome 1 tablet, 12.5 mcg 1 tablet, empty stomach, and Shelcal capsule 250, 1 capsule at lunchtime. Usually, if such a patient comes to us, they will be asking for hair fall. So what we say, what we do, we think that the doctor also might have given this Shelcal as a calcium supplement to control the hair fall. But actually, it is not the thing. While doing thyroidectomy, hope you know the structure of the thyroid. Just behind the thyroid, by sticking on the thyroid gland, there is parathyroid gland also. So while doing thyroidectomy, there is every possibility to remove parathyroid hormone gland also. So, but that may not have been written. That may not be written in the surgical sheet or any of the prescriptions or somewhere. But the surgeon definitely knows that the parathyroid gland also been removed. So she needs to supplement calcium. This is why she has been given this Shelcal 250 mg once daily. What happened if so? Actually, we have a tendency wherever we see some of the iron supplement or folic acid supplement or calcium supplement, etc. We suddenly stop that, isn't it? folic acid. If we it's beyond the context actually. If we might have seen in our practice with the folic, what we say, methotrexate with the folic acid combination. We stop folic acid first, and then we ask them to stop methotrexate gradually. But definitely, why folic acid is given in combination with methotrexate? There is every possibility to what we say hamper the iron for the folic acid metabolism. And without folic, if we are not supplementing folic acid, definitely the patient gets start collapse. The same condition here also, if the parathyroid hormone gland has been removed, if we don't supplement calcium along with the thyronome, definitely within 1 month the patient is going to get affected with tetany, abnormal conversions, and the patient will be collapsed. So be careful when you come to a modern medicine prescription along the thyronome tablet along with the Shelcal with the history of thyroidectomy, subtotal or total thyroidectomy. Please don't stop the Shelcal, the calcium supplement initially. You can stop by adding some of our calcium supplements like Shankhabhasmam or Pravalabhasmam or whatever it may be. And then once an adequate level has been achieved, then you can stop the Shelcal. Don't stop calcium supplements suddenly. That will end up our practice. So here we have to start with Agnivardhana Rasayana, and in this case it was the condition. While doing this thyroidectomy, the parathyroid gland also been removed, and that's the reason for prescribing Shelcal also. Here Brahmarasayanam with Yastabhasmam was being continued. So as I have explained, this condition I have explained, hypothyroidism in newborn, never confirm neonatal hypothyroidism with just the raised TSH. Maternal oxytocin may mimic thyroxine and gives you a false positive rate. Need to recheck TSH after 1 week. If at all hypothyroidism is confirmed, don't start the treatment immediately. Need to exclude the positive possibility of congenital hypoabsorption or thyroid gland, which is the most common endocrine disorder in pediatric cases. In such cases, our medicines are not going to give any result, and this child may develop severe mental and physical growth retardation. So I just completed the cases. The initial, I will just summarize. The initial group was the how to control the deranged hormone level. It was hypothyroidism. I divided into three. That one is subclinical hypothyroidism. The second is hypothyroidism without hormone replacement, and the third one is hypothyroidism with the hormone replacement. And then the next group was hyperthyroidism, and the next group was structural abnormalities, and later the next set of the medicine that to control the comorbidity. These comorbidities were starting from the simple dry skin for a pediatric up to vitiligo in case of hypothyroidism. That is dry skin, amyloid, what we say, another one is cutaneous palmoplantar keratoderma, and that dry skin. Then one more it was there. So the medicines I will just summarize. The medicines I used is Sinduram, out of Sinduram concept, Soyamakti Sinduram, Annabheti Sinduram, and Loham. Bhasmas, Abhragavasmam, Talagavasmam, Swarnamakshi Vasmam, Mandura Vasmam, and Rasa drugs, Kamadugam, Sudashekar Rasam, Lugu Sudashekar Rasam. And this Soyamakti Sinduram, I explained. The ingredients are Paradam, Ganthagam, and Loha Churnam. Bhavana with Kumari Surasam. Indication is Trayagasa and Agnimandya. Dose is 65 to 125 milligram, and it can be increased up to 200 milligram. Better practically, I didn't give these medicines in Agnimandya because there are enough medicines for this Agnimandya with us. We say there are safe enough group of medicines in the condition of Agnimandya. So we better not to give such risky medicines in simple diseases, and if better to start this medicine if other therapies are not responding. Don't start this Soyamakti Sinduram as a preliminary step. Consider this as the last resort. Start with a higher dose. It is called as loading dose. we also have a tendency that we will start with a mild dose and then we will increase. Definitely, regarding with the resource, it is always better to start with a higher dose initially and then reduce. That is known as loading dose, and start higher dose and then reduce to try to reduce the dose gradually. So I'll just explain the pharmacology of soimectinib, lohasindhuram, and annapetysindhuram. As I explained previously, the plasma iodide, the conversion of plasma iodide and iodine, that needs the iron, copper, and zinc, as I explained, and this becomes the stimulators or precursor for this iodine conversion from the plasma iodide to iodine. This becomes the pharmacodynamics with the modern medicine. Abragabasmam, this specific indication is hypo or hyperthyroidism with dyspnea, breathlessness, and tachycardia. 150 to 200 milligram you can give. The best anupana is honey, vashasurasa, or tulasi surasa, depends upon the condition. A potent bronchodilator, smooth muscle relaxant, and mild expectorant. Annabhedi, mild hypo, you can give it mild hypothyroidism with subclinical hypothyroidism. Below TSH, if the TSH is below 15, the best option is annapetysindhuram. Talagam, it's a bit risky drug. Hypothyroidism with severe respiratory distress. It is vata kapha shamanam and little bit pitta vardhanam. So always better to incorporate any of the pitta shamana drugs by giving with Kalaka Basmam. It may be Pravala Basmam or Shankha Basmam or simple Avibhatti Churnam or Godandi Basmam, whatever it may be. You can mix this Kalaka Basmam along with such pitta shamana drugs, and then you can start this. The dose is 65, 125 is the maximum dose. Better don't go for that. Better, the safe dose is 50 milligram to 65 milligram. It is known as 3 Pushpa Haranam. There is every possibility to get temporary amenorrhea, but don't worry about that. Once the medicines has been stopped, the problem will be reduced. There are some antidote also. Sasidam, Jiragam, Shaudram, Kusmanta, Surasam, Tuva. If something happens like this temporary amenorrhea, that can be controlled with the Siddha, with the Jiraga Churna, Shaudra, and Kusmanta. Pravalam, Pittadhika Vada with Shamanam, indication is hyperthyroidism. Anubana is Charibadi, Pandam, or Drakshadi Kashayam, or Guluchadi Kashayam, whatever it may. Kamadugarasam, Guluji Satum, Sodhida, Purnagarigam, Abragavasam. Hyperthyroidism with severe pitta. First Anubana found to be Drakshadi Kashayam. Maybe with Sadavariyadi Gridam, or Ashoka Gridam, or Bhatriyadi Gridam, etc. also can be. Now come to the best important drug, Resasinduram. It's a Yogavadi, we know that, can be given in any of the conditions along with the proper anubanas. Like that I will explain. Resasinduram with Abragavasma. If the patient exhibit the symptom as hypo or hyperthyroidism with the respiratory symptoms, you can use Abragavasma. And with the again with the respiratory symptoms, severe respiratory symptoms, you can use Talagavasma. And with the GIT symptoms or UTI or hematuria, etc., you can use Resasinduram with the Pravalavasma. For any of the gynecological disorders, you can use Resasinduram with the Legusudashegarasam or Kamadugarasam. So, let's come to the summary. This Annapetysindhuram, subclinical hypothyroidism without obesity. Purnamakshivasam, subclinical hypothyroidism with obesity. Lohasindhuram, marked hypothyroidism. Soimectinib, marked hypothyroidism with highly elevated TS. Pravalabasmam with severe Pittadhika condition. Kamadugarasam with hyperthyroidism with Vada Pitta conditions. Yashadavasmam with hyperthyroidism with Pitta Kapha condition. Now, as per my opinion, the Sausadhis are just an add-on therapy. And always a judicial approach of herbal, a combination of herbal medicine and herbal-mineral medicine are definitely necessary to control the not only thyroid, in any of the disease conditions. Herbal-mineral drugs alone is what we say not sufficient to come to the normal, because most of the herbal-mineral drugs are what we say Vyadhi Viparita, and herbal drugs are Hetu Viparita. So we need to combine both Hetu Viparita and Vyadhi Viparita, then only we will get the proper result. So let me come to the conclusion. Once again, I thank Dr. Jasul and the organizers of this seminar. Your map for giving me such a wonderful opportunity to come and meet all of you. And let this such sessions may I know that Doctor is organizing such seminars since long time, and so better let such sessions come with different topics in future also. So once again, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. It was really an informative session. Now, the doubts, you can just type it in the chat box and we can have the discussion. And sir, you have already mentioned that when there is a hormone therapy, when a person is taking a hormone therapy, you can like stop it abruptly. You can stop it rather than tapering the dose. And there are also quite a number of researches also. So the doubt is that yes, yeah. So does these people, when we abruptly stop this hormone therapy, do they show any symptoms, drastic symptoms to react as a reaction and all to the stoppage of these hormone therapies?
No, usually I didn't observe anything because as per this half-life, the effect of their hormone therapy, that the previously consumed hormone, will be there in their body till a period of 6 weeks to 2 months. So by that time, our medicines can come to the action, and thereby such we can compensate the such what we say the problem in gradually. And I, in my practice, I did by initially I was also tapering. I was stopping the medicines by tapering, and that once I happened to see this research, then I started this medicine by I started to follow the same method, the new method, and definitely I get better results with this method only. I never come any of the I never didn't face any of the what we say difficulties or adverse drug reactions, etc.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. So one of the doubts the attendees have asked is that milk is considered to be an apatya for thyroid disorders. So, but most of the RESA drugs have milk as anupana. So, is there a contradiction regarding that?
No, I don't think milk is not what we said. I don't think milk is contraindicated in thyroid. Usually, I prescribe this Kamaduga Rasa, etc., along with milk only. The only thing is milk reduces the absorption of levothyroxine. Only that much. So otherwise, I don't find any. I never came to know. Happened to see such an observation. And usually I give milk as an anupana also. If rather the Agni is in proper state. So there won't be any contradiction between. As per my opinion, usually the more of the kapha vardhaka, milk is kapha vardhaka definitely. But in such cases, if severe Agni mandya is there, that is the only reason, only stage where we have to control the milk. Otherwise, we can use milk as an anupana itself, definitely no problem. And there also, the anupana or bhavana dravya becomes the milk, then that also the quantity is very less. Usually, the quantity of this anupana is not half glass or one, especially in this Rasaushadhi, it's not half glass or 1 glass. It needs the quantity of this anupana is clearly explained in Rasatarangini. That is, that you have to take the anupana as per the quantity which immerse the entire drug. So if it is the tablet, it's a tablet of 250 milligram, you have to use the anupana maximum is half teaspoon or 5 teaspoon. You have to just dissolve the tablet. Only that much quantity is sufficient for in the anupana in the Rasa drugs. So only that won't increase that much kapha, and definitely that will never cause a harmful effect also. The quantity is important. Always you take this anupana, just especially for this Rasaushadhi, as half teaspoon maximum or 1 teaspoon. That is sufficient.
Thank you so much, sir. I hope the doubt was cleared for her. So the next question is that in case of tibial myxedema, we've already discussed that there is no particular, you don't need a treatment as such for it. But due to cosmetic reasons, if the patient is really concerned about such a condition, so what are the ways of maintenance that we can do, or we can ask, or we can prescribe in such conditions?
Initially, if the lesions are oozing, then better to start the lesions with, better to start the Kshalana or Pichu with any of the decoctions, like what we say Kshirivriksha decoctions or Guluchadi Twatha, etc. You can just use for a Pichu, or what even for Kshalana you can do that in case of oozing lesions. If the lesions are properly dry, then you can just use either Mahadikta Lepa or Sadadauda Grida for a local application. Along with that, you can add either this Gandhaga or Yasadavasma, etc. internally also. That will give you more faster relief to the existing symptomatic control. Hope it is clear.
Okay, yes, sir, it's clear. Thank you so much, sir. And one more question regarding Yashada Basma. Could you please explain a few formulations with Yashada Basma included in it, because it plays a good role in immunity improvement also. So could you please explain a few formulations?
Exactly. Yeah, especially in case of Yashada Basma, actually, what is the need of going to the formulations? You can use Yashada Basma as such. Always it is better. If you go for any of such of a combinations, the quantity of Yashada Basma will be very, very less in that combination. There are so many Swarnamaladi Vasandarasa is there, Malini Vasandarasa is there, Yashadamrta, for external application, Yashadamrta Malahara is there. But better not to go for such combination. Definitely you just start with the simple Yashada Basma itself, either 150 milligram or 200 milligram of Yashada Basma you directly start. That is my opinion.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. And one more question has come, like, if the patient is hypertensive or diabetic, what are the special precautions that we should take?
No, that can be considered as Vyadhi Sangara. So in such cases, always if it is highly diabetic, if diabetes is not under control, always better to go for diabetic control initially, glycemic control initially. If hypertension and thyroid is associated, always try to control hypertension initially. Then focus on hypothyroid. That would be better, because this hypothyroidism won't give you a fast reaction. But at the same time, hypertension or this, what we say, the diabetes can hamper the condition fastly. And moreover, the management of diabetes and hypothyroidism becomes almost similar. And most of the time, by controlling when they come to the normal glycemic control itself, the thyroid, there are every possibility to control the thyroid level also. But hypertension has to be addressed separately.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. Yes. Thank you so much, sir. And one question is that the sudden stoppage of hormone therapy, levothyroxine. If a person is taking levothyroxine, the sudden stoppage, is it applicable only for Rasa Chikitsa, or when you are dealing with only Dravya Chikitsa, that is herbal medicines? Also, can we opt the same thing?
Yeah, as per my opinion, this is not that research is not being done by any of the Rasa Shastri. That research is from modern medicine only. So it is applicable towards the even for herbal medicine also, even for Rasa Aushadhis also. Because if you are able to but why I specified for Rasa Aushadhi, which means it is more easy to control, to reach to the normalcy with the Rasa Aushadhis in highly deranged hormone level. That's why I included, I specified, or I emphasized in the it is quite common in even controlling simple herbal medicine. You can do the same method itself. Always better to what we say, try to stop with the suddenly.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. There is one more question, like the use of Trikatu in the treatment of thyroid, this hypothyroidism and hyperthyroidism, because she stated that the Trikatu has traces of selenium, iron, etc. So, in the starting of the presentations, you have already discussed the importance of checking selenium, iron, zinc,
Yeah.
etc. lab test, serum tests. Yes. So in that context, she is asking. So what about using Trigato as a treatment modality? Because
No,
it has got
Panchagola contains Trigato, no?
yes,
Almost. Actually,
yes, yes.
Pippali is the rich of selenium, not the other meds. Nagara and say other one
People,
contain
Marija,
Pippali
Marija.
is rich in selenium. And yeah,
Okay,
Nagara
okay.
and Marija doesn't. That's what my observation. I knowledge, as per my knowledge, Pippali is rich with selenium, and Pippali Moolam are included in Panchagolam. So definitely we are using Panchagolam. I feel Panchagolam will be better option than Trigadu. Even you can use Trigadu also, no problem.
Okay, thank you, sir. And again, there is a case discussion like a patient with normal TSH, but the hemoglobin level is 10 and is manifesting symptoms like lethargy and obesity. So, what is the possible treatment that we could adopt in such a case?
Yeah, I would go for Kabaja Pandu, the treatment of Kabaja Pandu. Maybe you can start with the Vyoshadi Kashayam. There is one Kashayam mentioned in Sahasra Yogam, that is either it's not name of Vyoshadi Kashayam, or it's the same name that is called as Karimbirumbadi. It's the same. You can start with Vyoshadi Kashayam. It is used as Vyoshadi Takram. Means it is been specified as to use as Takram, Vyoshadi Takram. Either you can use as Vyoshadi Kashayam or Vyoshadi Takram along with the Mandura or Kasisa as a in this Vyoshadi Kashayam itself, iron is an ingredient. Along with that, you can use either better option will be Mandura, as it is Mandura Vadaga, because it is Mandura Vadaga is also indicated in Kapaja Pandu only. That is also Ruksha, Tikshna, and initially you have to do the Avarana Bhedana. There will be an Avarana of Kapha for the Vada. So initially you start with the treatment for Avarana, Kapha Avarana, then go for normal Vada Samana and Brahmana. This would be the better line. Start with Vyoshadi Kashayam and Mandura Vadagam, and as later you may go for either Drakshadi Kashayam or any other Pitta Samana drugs. That would be better.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. So there is a question raised like, is there any relationship between the thyroid hormone levels and lipid levels in our body?
Yeah, definitely. 60%. That the research shows that 60%. 60% of the hypothyroidism patient can have high dyslipidemia in future. That's what the 60% is the ratio, which has been explained, which has been proved through modern research. Both in vice versa also. Even with the even with the 50 to 60% of dyslipidemic individual, there can be so either at least in case of subclinical hypothyroidism.
Okay, thank you, sir. Sir, and again, one more question has been raised, like Spymacne synthurm, which you have emphasized a lot in your treatment protocols. So, is there any pharmacy where we can get this good quality Spymacne synthurm? And also, is there any patya regarding to use of this formulation?
Okay, actually, two companies are manufacturing that. One is Kottakkal Ayurvedishala, is manufacturing as capsule, Swayamagna Sindhuram capsule of 200 milligram, and then another one, Siddheshwara Drugs of Kerala, that also they are also manufacturing this Swayamagna Sindhuram as in the powder form, in the Bhasma form. And so this is very both the formulations have got little bit difference, but still you can substitute both. So if it is capsule form, it is very easy to use. But always remember, even if it is in the encapsulation of these bhasmas are intended only for the precise dose. You have to, while administering, you have to open the capsule, take the bhasmas into the either to the palm or spoon, then mix it with proper anupanas. You are not supposed, whatever it may be, it can be Rasasinduram capsule, it can be Abrabhasman capsule, it can be Swayamagna Sindhuram capsule. If you just simply swallow it, it's not going to give any result in your condition. But always better to open the capsule and mix it with proper anupanas, then administer. because the encapsulation of plasmas are only for precise dose administration. And especially the pathyas that has to be followed here is nothing but maybe in the loha pathyas, especially you have to avoid this amla dravyas much, only that much. I ask them to avoid deep fried food and amla, excessive of amla, citrus food. I ask them to avoid, nothing else. Anyway, better not to continue for a long duration. Maybe 3 weeks to 1 month you can continue. Later, then you have to taper the dose.
Sir, the usage of these treatment protocols, including the RESA medicines and all. So, what is the sadhya sadhita, sir, or what is the rate of recurrence of this condition coming back even after our treatment? Is it that we can say that they can lead a normal life thereafter, or is it like it comes back after because they'll be they won't be going for a strict diet as such. The reason why I'm asking this is because in our department in Trivandrum Ayurveda College, in the R&B department, we had a study with Loganatha Resa as a thesis. So it had
Loganatha
very
Resa
strict
or
diet.
Loganatha Potli?
Loganatha Potali. Potali itself, but we gave it
Both are
Loganatha
different.
Potali.
Loganatha Resa is different. Loganatha Potli is different. Yeah.
No, Loganatha Potali we did. We did Loganatha
Okay,
Potali, and we gave it in the form of capsules only. But the diet was very much strict because they were having Mudga Yusha and all only as diet and all. So during the intake of these medicines and after 45 days also, it was all normal. But once we had a follow up after 2 months, then levels were like fluctuating. So it was like we couldn't take it as a good. The results which we intended was not received from the same treatment.
Okay. What was the levels that you included in your study? Up to
The
how
levels
much?
was
Up
like
to how much?
yeah, we included TSH up to 50. 50.
50.
Yes.
Okay. Only
And
whether
mostly
the primary hypothyroidism only.
primary hypothyroidism only.
Okay. And those who are not undergone function means thyroid replacement.
Yes. Yes. Not undergone thyroid replacement.
Okay. And what was the Anupana given?
Anupana was milk.
Milk.
Yes.
Okay. And so what was the duration?
Duration was 2 weeks, and we checked for after 45 days, and also after this 45 days, again after 2 months, that is after 60 days also we gave a checkup. But after
Okay.
45 days, the results were good. But
Okay.
again, the second follow-up, the results were not that satisfactory.
Okay. Now, what I feel is there are two possibilities. One is the single tablet or single medicines may not have sufficient in such conditions. In many of the conditions, 10 to 15 or 5 to 50 is a big range actually. So we cannot specify what is the reason for that. Usually, in my experience, especially the subclinical hypothyroidism and the hypothyroidism without hormonal replacement can be controlled very well with even for years together. But those who have undergone hormone replacement therapy, there are some incidences that for this increase later, maybe after 3 months or 6 months. But usually up to 50, etc. If we combine, that's what I explained in the last. When we combine the herbal drugs along with the herbomineral drugs, the actions seems to be what we say fortified. That's why. So such a combinations won't will be helping more to prevent the recurrence. That's what I feel. In this case, only one medicine has been given, and 2 weeks is quite short time to what we say to get to a conclusion. So that would be the reason for the recurrence. That's what I feel. Such a patients like with 50, etc. may not be getting controlled with a 2 weeks of medicine. maybe some simple symptomatic control or some temporary control might have been got. And if you might have continued for a period of 1 month or 1.5 months, the result might have been little more persisting. That could be the reason. That's what I feel.
Okay, thank you, sir. So because the patya was also very strict patyas whether because especially it was a potli kalpana. So the patients would not be willing to take it more than like 2 weeks and all. And maybe that the patient like was still sticking on to those diets for just 2 weeks, and after 2 weeks they were like doing and taking up things as they wanted. Though we gave strict instructions, maybe that might also have caused a sudden increase. And moreover, though we took, because it was a thesis work, we wanted a bigger range that was needed. And most of the patients, we didn't have a big range. It was